dark to light. This is the Great Awakening. People of the world have woken up, and the light has shined on the darkness, and the darkness cannot hide from it. All the darkness can do is panic. All of the systems the darkness had in place to control us are going to crumble. The fear, the corruption, the greed, the wars and rumors of wars, the hate, the technology, media propaganda, the child trafficking, and the slave economy. All of these control systems will crumble down. The darkness will collapse in only a few countries at first, but other countries will soon follow. We will unite against the dark. How will it be walking into the light after thousands of years of darkness? It's game over for the darkness. Are you ready for the light? Welcome to the new Earth. go one, we go all.
The intention of Imagine Freedom Society, a faith-based private membership contract association and non-denominational church, hereinafter the PMCA or association, is to build local communities that are well-grounded in the values of compassion, appreciation, understanding, forgiveness, humility, valor, unity and regenerative living practices that promote peak spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, economic, lawful and energy wellness and security for each individual, their family, friends and associated environments. Upon members' autography of this PMCA membership contract agreement, and acceptance of the PMCA bylaws and articles of creation, membership extends to the household of the member and the member's dependents. Benefits of membership include access to spiritual information, education, science, technology, systems, services, products and other regenerative solutions concerning the development and improvement of wellness in the environment, some of which are in the purview of common knowledge, some of which are approved or cleared by public, de facto governmental administrative agencies, and, some of which are alternative or emerging technologies that do not have an approval or clearance by the public de facto governmental agencies. This PMCA seeks to cultivate, innovate, disseminate and protect all aspects, aforementioned, that support the highest level of life and existence on Mother Earth. In order to protect the PMCA and all members, as well as, but not limited to, the ministers, discoverers, inventors, manufacturers, distributors, contributors, partners, of any new, but not limited to, device, product, procedure or service that can be used for animal, plant or mineral kingdom wellness, or, wellness care from any adverse action by any and all third-party interveners in this private contract, in exchange for the benefits offered by the PMCA, all members consent to the terms and conditions set forth in this agreement. Every member joins the PMCA as a living, sentient natural man or woman, of sound mind and in their natural and highest character, capacity and standing, in equanimity with all other men or women members. Each member privately agrees to take upon themselves the care and responsibility for their own wellness, and the wellness of those dependent upon them, and in so doing agrees to do due diligence regarding anything offered to them by any of the trustees or other private members and make informed decisions on wellness and healthcare that the members think best for living a healthy life and preventing, diagnosing and treating any discomfort, pain, deformity, disability, disease, illness or wound in or to any member's body, mind or spirit in order to attain, restore, improve and maintain optimum spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, economic, lawful and energy wellness and security. Please read this contract carefully and make sure that you understand it. If you are unable to read or understand English, please have someone read and explain this agreement to you. Articles of Membership Contract Agreement for Imagine Freedom Society Private Membership Contract Association. The Imagine Freedom Society Faith and Mission-Based Private Membership Contract Association and Non-Denominational Church, PMCA, is a private and contractual association between its members which help further the Imagine Freedom Society mission of empowering individuals and their communities with affordable and regenerative energy, water, food, health, shelter, materials, education, transportation, economics and governance solutions, all focused around non-censored education for future decentralized world systems, which help enable peak spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, economic, lawful and energy health, wellness and security through sharing among members knowledge of systems, services and products to achieve said peak wellness and security. With the authorship and acceptance by the member of this membership agreement, member accepts the offer made to become a member of the Imagine Freedom Society Private Membership Association. I have read and agree with the following declaration of intent and purpose from Article 1 of the Imagine Freedom Society PMCA Articles of Association. It is hereby declared that we are exercising our unalienable and human right to sustain personal health and wellness, freedom to assemble, the right to free speech, the right to religious freedom, and the right of association as guaranteed by the 1st, 4th, 5th, 7th, 9th, and 14th Amendments of the U.S. Constitution and equivalent provisions of the various state constitutions. Our association activities are restricted to the private domain only. We operate outside the public space. The intent of all members in this private membership contract association, PMCA, is to be able to obtain all available historical or newly developed data, facts, information, knowledge, research and development about any and all newly developed or discovered technologies, devices, products, procedures and services that may be used in maintaining, improving or recovering wellness or that can be used in improving or maintaining the member's spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, economic, lawful and energy wellness and wellness care. The purpose of this PMCA is for the members to gain access to and obtain by lease, rent, purchase, trade or the use of any such technology, device or product and to perform such procedures or services by and on ourselves or each other using any and all treatment modalities and therapies relinquishing any need for governmental approval, clearance or permission, with the intention of keeping all information a private contractual matter. The mission of our association is to provide members with the highest level of private communication, quality care, and the most effective methods of treatment and education. Our association treats members in their health and medical conditions, and not merely the symptoms experienced. We understand that wellness has many dimensions. The association may provide comprehensive, conventional, complementary, and alternative care and education, to diagnose all aspects of a member's condition. The association strives to educate about the most effective means of improving wellness. More specifically, the association may provide services to members on a variety of other/alternative wellness programs and modalities, some known now and others to be discovered in the future, as requested by members, including but not limited to, diagnostic health testing, wellness protocols, supplements and education, all for the optimization of spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, economic, lawful and energy health and well-being as alternatives to standard solutions. The association's aim and charter are to give aid, render help to the sick and the afflicted. In so doing, we affirm the right of religious freedom which is not just religious or ecclesiastical in nature, but that we are all equal children under God who He Himself bestowed us with inalienable rights, regardless of religious beliefs, affiliation, and tenets. Our main objective is to communicate, learn, educate, select and choose modalities of diagnosis and treatment for our spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, economic, lawful and energy health wellness and security. This association of members hereby declares that we are standing on our rights to maintain and protect the God-given rights and contractually secured liberties and freedom of every member. We exercise our right to speak, ask for advice, guidance, and counsel, and are free to choose the therapies and treatments we deem necessary for our health. Members support and affirm members' mutual rights to free speech, petition, assembly, and the right to gather together for the lawful purpose of advising and helping one another by asserting our rights granted by God. We proclaim the freedom to choose for ourselves the types of dialogistic testing therapies and treatment modalities that we think best for diagnosing, treating, and preventing illness and disease of our minds, bodies and spirit, and for achieving and maintaining optimal wellness. We proclaim and reserve the right to include medical and health options that include but are not limited to cutting-edge treatment modalities, diagnostics and therapies practiced or used by any types of healers or theorists or professionals, whether traditional or non-traditional, conventional or non-conventional, allopathic or natural. The Imagine Freedom Society Private Membership Contract Association will recognize any man or woman who is in accordance with these principles and policies as a member, and will provide a medium through which its individual members may associate for actuating and bringing to fruition the purposes heretofore declared. No member will intentionally cause any other member in the association harm, be it physical, spiritual, emotional, or financial, including but not limited to not bringing any type and or form of proceedings against the association and or other members in the association. We proclaim the freedom to choose and provide for ourselves a free, independent, and secure environment, and to enhance this environment for the promotion and advancement of ideas and beliefs in spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, economic, lawful and energetic health, wellness and security. The Imagine Freedom Society Private Membership Contract Association will provide members with access to resources from the following. Imagine Freedom Society Private Membership Contract Association focuses on creating and enabling open source and open standards which are foundational to decentralized solutions and technologies. By developing core software, hardware and technical systems for the Imagine Freedom Society Private Membership Association, members, and partners, incentivizing their usage through value exchange, Imagine Freedom Society creates decentralized solutions for present challenges and opportunities. Imagine Freedom Society productizes and leverages hardware, software, and services by integrating regenerative technologies to make managerial and decentralized solutions simple, secure, and affordable. Imagine Freedom Society provides a decentralized opportunity, the sharing of profits from products and services to reward every member. Imagine Freedom Society builds an integrated decentralized system that helps empower all mankind to be free to choose how our data is stored and whether or not we want to share it. Imagine Freedom Society combines breakthrough scientific research and development in regenerative energy, water, food, health, shelter, materials, education, transportation, economics and governance to offer solutions for individual and collective spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, economic, lawful and energy health needs. All Imagine Freedom Society personal data is secured, decentralized and private. Imagine Freedom Society will help users to manage their own home decentralized energy, providing peace of mind knowing family, home, and office will still have power when / if the centralized power grid goes out. Imagine Freedom Society will help create digital connections in a decentralized sustainable future for indigenous and non-indigenous communities throughout the world. Memorandum of Understanding. The relationship between members and principal members. A principal member shows proficiency in one or more fields of study and has been nominated by a founding trustee member to contract with members, principal members, the association, and the board to advance the association's mission and intent. I understand that the principal members, those who are contractors with the association, who provide services and care do so in the capacity of a fellow member and not in the capacity of a licensed healthcare agent. I further understand that within the association no doctor-patient relationship exists, but only a private contract member-member association relationship. In addition, I have freely chosen to change my status from de facto to true, lawful standing as de jure as a private member of the association. I further understand that it is entirely my own responsibility to consider the advice and recommendations offered to me by my fellow members, principal and non-principal members, to educate myself as to the efficacy, risks, and desirability of the same. The acceptance of the offered or recommended therapy, treatment, product and/or care is my own carefully considered decision. Any request by me to a fellow member to assist me or provide me with the aforementioned therapy, treatment, and care is my own free decision as an exercise of my rights and made by me for my benefit, and I agree to hold the trustees, principal members, and other members in the association harmless from any unintentional liability for the results of such care, except for harm that results from instances of a present danger that raises to the level of substantive evil with malicious intent as determined by the association, Board of Trustees. The trustees of the Imagine Freedom Society are the key men and women that will lead the association and carry out its mission, intent, and objectives. The relationship between federal and state agencies, the privacy of records, and non-participation in medical insurance. I understand that, since the association is outside the jurisdiction and authority of federal and state agencies and authorities, concerning any and all complaints or grievances against the association, and trustees, members, principal or not. All rights of complaints or grievances shall only be settled by an internal association committee tribunal. Therefore, for the benefit of the association and its members, I agree not to seek any remedy for relief in the public domain. I agree that my violation of any part of this membership contract would result in an internal association committee tribunal against me to determine the status of my membership. The privacy and security of membership records maintained within the association, which have been held to be inviolate by the U.S. Supreme Court, the undersigned member waives, HIPAA, ADA, FDA, FTC privacy rights and complaint process. Any medical or healthcare records, data, scans, surveys, analyses, tests, results, labs, or DNA samples kept by the association will be strictly protected and only released upon written request of the member, and not to be shared or sold in the public domain, without express written consent of both the association and the member. I agree to join the association, a private membership association, and contract under de jure common law, with other members that also seek to help each other achieve better health and live longer with the highest quality of life. The relationship of the services you choose to receive. I understand that the principal members, and other providers who are fellow members of the association are offering me advice, services, and benefits that do not necessarily conform to conventional medical care. I do not expect these benefits to include on-call coverage, hospital care, or the usual and customary care provided by most physicians. I will receive such primary and specialist care elsewhere. I fully understand that any benefits I may receive from the association are not covered by health insurance and are not covered by Medicare. I fully agree not to file a lawsuit, malpractice, civil, or any other suit, against a fellow member of the association, unless that member has maliciously forced me to a clear and present danger that rises to the level of substantive evil of criminal intent. I acknowledge that the members of the association do not carry malpractice insurance. No member or principal member will intentionally cause any other member of the association harm, be it physical, spiritual, emotional, or financial. If such a danger arises, I will make a grievance report to the association for an equitable decision against the other members. Members are responsible for their own decisions. As a member, I accept the goals of helping my body function better and choosing techniques that are both very safe and have a reasonable chance to succeed, realizing that no diagnostic technique or treatment is foolproof. If I choose to forego drugs, surgery, or radiation that has been recommended to me by others, I fully accept the risk that I might suffer serious consequences from that choice. Other aspects of informed consent will take place in my discussions with the principal members and/or providers and my fellow members of the association. I accept full and complete responsibility for my own life, and my own consequences for my own decisions in my journey for life, liberty, and my personal private pursuit of happiness. Privacy and safety of members and information and no malpractice insurance coverage. My activities within the association are a private matter and I agree to lawfully refuse to share with the public domain, state medical board, the FDA, FTC, Medicare, Medicaid, or my own insurance company, or any other public corporation, including government agencies, any dealings I have with the association. All records and documents remain as property of the association, even if I receive a copy of them. Members' free will and agreement. I enter into this agreement of my own free will or on behalf of my dependent without any pressure or promise of a cure. I affirm that I do not represent any state, or federal agency or corporation, whose purpose is to regulate the practice of medicine and or approve products for the public only. I have read and understood this document, and my questions have been answered fully to my satisfaction. These pages, the bylaws, In Article 1 of the Articles of Association of this association consists of the entire agreement for my membership in the association, and they supersede any previous agreement. I understand the Imagine Freedom Society consists of solution-focused areas such as but not limited to Imagine Energy, Imagine Water, Imagine Food, Imagine Health, Imagine Shelter, Imagine Materials, Imagine Education, Imagine Transportation, Imagine Economics and Imagine Governance, which are independent service providers for the Imagine Freedom Society Private Membership Contract Association. Terms of Agreement and Cancellation. I understand that I can withdraw from this agreement and terminate my membership in this association at any time. Canceling my membership, in no way, a. waives the adherence to the terms and conditions of this contract, b. refunds the annual membership fees, nor, c. cancels any private contract entered into between other private members. I understand that my membership will auto-renew on the annual anniversary date of my membership and will continue to auto-renew until I decide to cancel, which I can do at any time by emailing trustees@Imagine Freedom Foundation.org, with the subject line PMA Renewal Cancellation Request, or in writing to attention, Imagine Memberships, 1250 North Highway No. 122, Colville, Washington 99114, for at least 14 business days prior to auto-renewal. I understand not renewing my membership will suspend membership status but not cancel membership until I voluntarily request to cancel in writing. Why join a private membership association, PMA? In the US, there is a separation of private and public, some refer to it as church and state. Public: the public domain is a group of people, the public, who are governed and protected by a government entity. It is regulated by legislative laws. Private: the private domain is where individuals choose to contract between and govern themselves. It is granted by the de jure laws of nature and protected by the U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights. Legislative laws are passed for the protection of the public. However, the First and 14th Amendments of the Constitution provide for private individuals to assemble together into organizations that are considered private and thus are not governed by laws that apply to the public. These have come to be called private membership associations. Examples include boys and girls clubs, fraternal associations, boxing associations, and churches. In the public domain, medical doctors are required to treat patients according to what is called the standards of care. These guidelines are considered mandatory edicts by medical boards. When a physician consults with a patient, the physician must apply a diagnosis code to represent what is wrong with the patient. Once that is done, the care of the patient is dictated by a set of standards established by federal drug agencies. These practices are enforced by debt collection, refuse to pay, and medical boards, sanctions and licensing approvals. Many would assume that if a better way of treating the patient was discovered, their physicians would be free to use that therapy. That is not true. Physicians are not allowed to use the most modern methods until boards, who are highly influenced by pharmaceutical and/or insurance companies, decide to allow physicians to do so. Since much of what Imagine Freedom Society provides is outside the scope of the standard of care, we operate as a safe private member association, PMA, in order to lawfully provide our members with the most advanced therapies. What is the history of a private membership association? While not explicitly defined in the Constitution, the Supreme Court has acknowledged that certain implicit rights, such as association, privacy, and presumed innocence, share constitutional protection in common with explicit guarantees such as free speech, in addition to the next paragraph, which is an excerpt from the arbitration award and what is being submitted for congressional settlement. Specifically, the Supreme Court has described the right to associate as inseparable from the right to free speech. The right of association under the Constitution was heavily litigated in the 1950s and 1960s, and members' rights were consistently upheld by the court. In fact, the right of association became a cornerstone of the civil rights movement. Private membership association members, parties, and beneficiaries are extended absolute immunity from all criminal, civil, administrative and other actions, procedures, and processes, and other laws, codes, rules, regulations, ordinances, etc. of the United States of America, any and all states and their instrumentalities in political and other subdivisions, territories, and or possessions of the United States of America, and no court or tribunal of the United States of America, any and all states and their instrumentalities in political and other subdivisions, territories, and or possessions of the United States of America shall have authority over the members, trustees, board and beneficiaries for any reason or cause, or to exercise jurisdiction over the prosecution, litigation and or other against the parties and beneficiaries for any reason or cause. In general, members of a private membership association do not fall under the jurisdiction of local, state, and federal governments and corresponding laws and regulations. The exception to this general rule is when the activities of the private membership associates present a danger of substantive evil. Example: several fellow health practitioners are being harassed, investigated, and sanctioned by licensing agencies, law enforcement agencies, and attorney generals in many states. They, of course, believe great service is being performed in the name of protection of the public. The solution to the problem is to change the public patient or client into a private contract member of a private healthcare membership association. Under the 1st and 14th Amendments of the U.S. Constitution and equivalent provisions of your state constitution, you have the right to associate with fellow members and offer benefits and services that are outside of the jurisdiction, venue, and authority of state and or federal agencies. What could come under scrutiny and in some cases be considered a criminal act outside the association can be perfectly lawful within the protection of a private association. This right of association is not absolute. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled in many cases that the state cannot interfere with private association activities unless the private members are being subjected to a substantial evil that would shock a person's moral and common sense. Private membership association and lawful foundation. The right to associate is not limited to social or political activities. This right can be utilized for business activities, e.g., sale of alcohol. Members of a private membership association have the right to private contract, which is also protected by the Due Process Liberty Clause of the 5th and 14th Amendments, and states may not pass laws that impair the obligation of a contract. In conclusion, the 1st, 5th, and 14th Amendments protect our inalienable right to assemble and right to associate from being infringed upon by third parties. We reaffirm and reserve for private enjoyment the inalienable rights to every man, woman, and child. Those unalienable rights include not only the freedom of life, liberty, property, speech, assembly, and due process but the right to choose our own health solutions. Those freedoms include the right of self-determination, homeschooling, choice of suppliers of products and or services, choice of lifestyle, food, drink, and any right or freedom that does not infringe on the rights and freedoms of others or is a threat. In a private membership association, the members have reserved all rights and reserved all privileges not specifically banned by the association unless they present a clear and present danger of substantive evil.